And I welcome you today to CSC Talker Radio. It is my honor, my privilege, and my pleasure to be here with you today. It is Free for All Friday. Let's cut to the chase and get straight to the show. It's Free for All Friday, and this you must know. Your voice will be heard across the heart of this land. Your opinion is important, and I think you're just grand. It's Free for All Friday. Your calls are all welcome. We'll talk about almost anything. We deny very seldom. So get your coffee ready. It's the brew that is true. Let's get on with the show. This day is for you. It is Free for All Friday. 877-895-5410 is the number to call. We will hear from Daniel Turner here in a short time. And we decided last week we were going to call it Fired Up Friday as well, because we all seem to get a little bit fired up on Friday. So many issues these days and so many distractions. Excuse me. And so much corruption. I was visiting with one of my sons this week on the phone, and he was reviewing a video. He said he hadn't seen it, of President Obama when he was debating with Mitt Romney. And President Obama was making fun of Mitt Romney's comments about Russia being a problem. And my son chuckled and he said, yeah, well, actually, I think it was the president chuckled and said, he also said that there was no way that Russia or anybody else could hack or interfere with our U.S. elections, and that candidate Trump needed to stop whining and concentrate on trying to get elected. Of course, now he joins them all in the Russia witch hunt against the current president. So when we go back and we look at these videos, during the debate with President Mitt, well, he wasn't president, thank goodness. I'm glad he wasn't president. Mitt Romney, I'm sorry, did I say that out loud? Mitt Romney and his debate over Russia, the talk about Russia. And then we move on to the campaign with now president, was then candidate, President Donald Trump. President, I keep saying president. Okay, but anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. But now it's all turned around, and Russia is the problem everywhere. So the hypocrisy and the corruption was what my son and I ended up talking about. He had not seen the video about Russia as far as being the interference of the voting of the elections. But he was showing me the video, which I had seen numerous times, with the debate with Mitt Romney. But the hypocrisy and corruption, and I mentioned to my son that we went from the greatest generation to the most corrupt generation. And he commented, he said, well, the greatest generation raised these corrupt guys. And I go, yeah, I guess that's true. And then he said, the corrupt generation is the ones that are raising the millennials. And I said, I guess that might be true as well. And then I laughed and I told him how lucky he was that his parents made him do jobs and chores so he didn't become a snowflake like everyone else. So we had a little laugh over that, and he was telling me how they tried to get out of their chores every day, which I knew that. But anyway, that's how it rolls. I watch the news every night. I take a break on weekends if I can. And I began last night to kind of wonder, if I didn't watch the news, and if I didn't get these emails and these other sources of news, where would I be in my thoughts today? Would I believe all that the mainstream media is dishing out? Then I kind of stopped and I remembered back when President Ronald Reagan was president and how the mainstream media did not like him and they went after him. Now, it wasn't quite as bad as what they've done with who do we have as President Trump? but it was certainly disgusting. And then they started making fun of him for all kinds of things. His age, they claimed he fell asleep in some meetings, and I'm going to think, who doesn't? But it really got disrespectful then. And it's, we lost respect for the president office way back. And I think that's really bad. Regardless of who the president is, we should at least respect the office, and we don't anymore. Democrats don't, Republicans don't, the mainstream media doesn't, other medias don't. So I think we need to back up the truck a little bit and be a little more respectful. But back to the news. I watch Fox News mostly. and it gives a different slant. And I don't always agree or approve, but I do think that they're throwing out facts. It's just up to us to sort them all out. And yes, Fox has an agenda, just like mainstream media has agenda. I'm sorry, Hannity, but you do. And some of their hosts are more left than they are right. And I probably shouldn't say his name out loud, but I'm going to anyway because I really don't care. Chris Wallace is interesting. I truthfully don't like to watch Chris Wallace, but it's interesting to watch him when he does interviews. He definitely helps the left make their point. He's not a true conservative, and which, I guess they don't have to be as journalists. If they're true journalists, we're supposed to be looking for truth and facts, not an agenda. But I kind of think he's kind of lined up, not quite as sold out as Bill Kristol. By the way, is he still running for president? He was talking about that. But I saw Chris Wallace get all giddy one time. I think I mentioned this to you several months back. He was interviewing Nancy Pelosi. And Nancy Pelosi, at the end of the interview, it was the sweetest little interview. And at the end of the interview, Nancy told him, "Thank you for all that you do to help our democracy." And he got all giddy. Oh, you're so welcome. It's my privilege, da-da-da-da. And it was just disgusting. The absurdities that we hear and that we have heard just this week are so disgusting. From a mainstream media gal saying, well, she's not mainstream. I think she was CNN, referring to the murdered college student as a gal in Iowa. That's all she was. And they're screaming, impeach, 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 which would almost be believable if they hadn't been screaming impeach, impeach, impeach since the night of November 8th, 2016. After President Trump's rally in West Virginia, the coal energy talk came back and right to the forefront, and Nancy Pelosi was doing an interview, and I didn't catch who that was with that was interviewing her, and she wants to, once again, you have to watch her, and she waves a lot. She's on her kick to stop coal. So it is Free for All Friday. President Trump is fired up over Sessions, but doesn't dare fire him. MSM is fired up over Manafort and Cohen. Pelosi wants to fire all of the American coal industry, and Antifa is fired up with the hate of this nation, and the Dems are fired up. We're not going to make America great. So what is it that you are fired up about today on this Friday, America? 877-895-5410 is the number to call. That's 877-895-5410. Well, Daniel will be with us in a little bit. We're going to talk about Nancy Pelosi, and we're going to talk about some other things on the energy side. I have 3 different articles here. But this is something that really bothers me. And this is the murder that took place in Iowa of the young college girl. He's an illegal alien. He is not an illegal immigrant. He is an illegal alien. Get that straight. But those who want open borders, like Elizabeth Warren, they don't want to concentrate on that. They say that's insignificant. And now Simone Sanders says it doesn't matter that he's an illegal immigrant or an immigrant or whatever. What he is it's about toxic masculinity. I really don't like that word, and I think they are crazy using it. We're going into a break. Your calls are welcome. We're going to be talking to Daniel here shortly. 877-895-5410. That's 877-895-5410, and we will be right back.